Turn the stupid things off. What cave have you guys been living in? And we're the idiots? Relax, I'm just kidding. Well, duh. Why would you want to do something like that? Makes sense. Things are not equal. Hey, it could happen. Back in the early 20th century, Colonel Sam McLaughlin saw that people weren't going to be using horses and carriages anymore. They were going to be driving automobiles. Now, there's a reporter for one of the little newspapers down the street from us here in Toronto that's drawing an analogy to the fact that General Motors is closing the Oshawa assembly plant, and this means that's the end of the passenger car. Well, last time I looked, we sold something like 1.7 million cars in this country every year. It's about 17 million cars in the United States, maybe down a few percentage points from previous years, but the business has always been cyclical. I bet you'd love to sell 1.7 million copies of your newspaper. But never mind. The fact is, Oshawa plant is closing, and frankly, you can't be all that surprised. Now, back in the day, when General Motors was at full capacity, it not only was the most productive plant in the entire industry, it had some of the highest quality as well. And that's no surprise, because Ford, Toyota, Honda, Chrysler, all of these plants in Canada are the highest quality plants they have anywhere in the world. But unfortunately, General Motors in Canada started building products that were on their way out. They're building sedans, which nobody's buying anymore. The pickup truck they were building was the previous generation. And when they bid for new product, they just didn't get it. Now, the factory was running at about 30% capacity, so the people in Oshawa couldn't have been all that surprised that their plant was chosen. There also, of course, are 5 plants closing in the United States. Contrary to popular belief, that production is not going to Mexico. It's just being consolidated in the factories that they already have. So it's a sad situation for the people in Oshawa. But I also wonder how many people in Oshawa drive General Motors cars. Our cameraman, Karen, give us a nod, Karen. He lives in Whitby, right next door to Oshawa. All he sees when he drives out in the street is General Motors cars. Now, a colleague of mine told me that when Ford closed their assembly plant in Windsor, nobody bought Fords there anymore. You never saw a Ford product on the streets. I'm wondering 20 years from now, when you drive through Oshawa, will you see any General Motors cars? I'm Jim Kenzie.